Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Roadblock here. So we are excited today. Um, big news going on here on the account that I'm super stoked for and excited to share. And then we're gonna get to pull our primal shards today, which I'm excited about. Let's see what we get there. Hopefully, we get some good epics at the very least. So, first things first, boom, 60, fully ascended Kale. Really excited about this. So I was just like, oh, let's check him, see if he has a banner. Um, so yeah, we were able to level up Kale last night. I spent quite a few. War Maiden and my Outlaw Monk. Like I said all along, he is going to be food for my Kale, and he was. Now that does change my clan boss team a little bit because I do have to fill some of those holes. So currently I am running Eris and Spirit Host on that team, but probably not Eris for much longer. I believe Apothecary will take her place as he gets more leveled up and gets ascended as well. Because he brings everything that Eris brings, but also brings a heal, which is good. Um, and he can get Giant Slayer for his triple hitter and do a lot of damage that way. So, a lot of value will come out of him. But Eris is a champion that we're gonna keep for a very long time. She will be very useful for setting up speed tunes in the future. Specifically unkillable if I get the champions for that. Now my with War Master now, my clan boss damage has gone up pretty substantially. So 2.76 million, so almost 3 million on normal. I was a little disappointed that I wasn't able to one key it, but I think if I just do a little playing around with the gear, I should be able to get that up. Obviously, leveling up these champions will help too. Speaking of, um, so who are we going to level next? Now, I'm about to do 2 pulls of Primal Shards. If I get some really good epics, then those will probably be my priority. But I've been giving this a lot of thought. And as it stands right now, I think the next character level is actually going to be Deacon. And I'll say this much, it's between Deacon and Apothecary. I'm sure you're like, well, why not Sun Wukong? He's a legendary. Why don't you level up your legendary? That makes sense. And it does make sense. The problem is Sun Wukong is a great champion. I'm not knocking him at all. Does a ton of damage, brings a cleanse and block buffs. Um, very valuable champion plus his self revive. He brings all those things no matter what level he is currently on the account. Um, and he's just so much harder to get stronger. Like I have to spend a lot more resources to fully ascend him. I was able to fully instantly level once Kale was 60, I was instantly able to ascend him for that last star. And it'll be similar with Deacon. It'll be cheaper than what it will cost me to ascend Sun Wukong, plus booking Sun Wukong. Um, the other thing too is that block buffs and buff removal is an ability that's really good for Hydra, but I'm not really going to be doing Hydra anytime soon. Clan bosses, I've said this from the start that Demon Lord clan boss is my priority. And the best characters that are going to help me on Demon Lord clan boss are going to be Deacon Armstrong and Apothecary. Um, Apothecary is going to bring the heal, so he'll be able to keep other champions alive, as well as bringing a speed boost to help my characters get more turns. Deacon Armstrong is going to do the same thing. The longer Deacon Armstrong stays alive, he's bringing my decreased defense, so we want him to be alive because I've pretty sure I've shown you guys how much of an impact it makes to have the decreased defense on. So once Deacon dies, my damage goes down quite a bit. So the longer I can keep Deacon alive, the better. So giving him more stats by leveling him up to 60 is going to fill that void. As well as getting him masteries that'll give him more survivability, things like that. So I do think Deacon is the answer. That being said, who knows what champions I'm about to pull tonight or today. So we're about to pull. If I get a crazy good, I was looking through the epics last night. There's a lot of good ones that I could get. Also a lot of bad ones. Then there's always a chance we get a legendary. I mean, if we pull a Theodore the Savant instantly, that's who we're level. Like there's no doubt about that. We would put every single one of our resources into Theodore, and we would just have the easiest account ever at that point. We don't have to worry there. But like if we got a Fane would then become the priority. Orm, same thing, or Orn, same thing. Scabrius, same thing. All of these would be more important than either. They would be more important than Deacon or Sun Wukong. So I just kind of wanted to talk about what my thoughts were there. So now that Kale is 60, we can now farm 12-3 Brutal. It takes about 30 seconds or so. So you'll see here, this is him just farming with some food. So it definitely takes a lot longer than I would prefer, but, this is the hand that we're dealt. And then we just let Kale do his thing. Oh, this is a little scary. Oh, that bomb had me a little scared there. Thankfully, Lord Shazar and this difficulty isn't that great, but yeah, 12-3 Brutal. That's the best place that you can farm in my opinion, in the game. It gives you the most. You get a lot. You get technically, if you were to farm 12, what it would be 9, 12-7. Yeah, 12-7 would be the most efficient XP. However, or even 12-6, because more 2 is unpredictable and hard. However, 12-3, you can get a lot more silver by selling those shields. Shields sell for more. So if you don't already know, 12-3 is where you should be farming and leveling your champions. All right. I haven't done anything else in the game. I haven't made progress other than some challenges. I was able to knock out a couple challenges, and kind of go from there. But upgraded rare. Oh wow, they already updated this. That's cool. I wasn't, updated rare, epic, legendary, or mythical champion skill. So that's interesting. 10k silver. All right. Well, I think without further ado, we should get into pulling these shards. So why am I pulling these today? So we do have a 32% chance at an epic. I've talked at length in this series about why epics I believe to be so valuable. We also have a 2% chance at a legendary. I'm not delusional enough to think that I'm going to get a mythical. Hey, it could happen, right? 1 in 200 can get one, but I am not expecting that to be me today. So, but epics are what we're looking for, because and even bad epics, while I would not be happy about it, even bad epics are steps closer to 6-starring champions. Something I did on my old account, if we go back on my main account, you will see I have a ton of epics. And I think I used to have a rule on the old on my main account when I was playing very early on, that I was going to keep all epics in case they got buffed. Now, it served me well in terms of faction guardians, because I was able to fill out quite a few slots. However, given the state that my account is, how early I am on my account, first of all, the likelihood that I'm going to be able to pull multiple epics and fill out a lot of these slots is unlikely. I mean, I have to pull duplicates, which is harder to when you don't have any epics at all. Um, and just given where I'm at on my account and how much I need power right now. So leveling up champions is more important right now than filling out the Guardian ring. So yes, I could hold champions for the faction Guardians, um, but I'm not going to this early. As time progresses, as I pull better, I guess what I'm saying is like if I pulled, let me just think of a kind of a like Lordly Legionary. Well, yeah, I'd probably get rid of Lordly Legionary or something along those lines. I'm just trying to think of like a bad Jingle Hunter. If I pulled a Jingle Hunter or like a Marksman, maybe I don't know. I might keep a Marksman. But yeah, if I pulled Jingle Hunter, I don't think I'm gonna keep them. That's probably gonna get fed. Um, I will definitely look up their kit and see if I can find any value in their kit. But for the most part, a lot of these, like I'm not Bushi. A lot of these champions, I'm just not really gonna want to use. But either way, without further ado, let's get into the fun part and pull these shards. So here we go. Let's see what we get. Of course, a rare. It is a marked. This is a champion that's going to get vaulted right away. We'll talk about that here in a second. Let's pull the other shard before we do anything else. All right, all right. Infernal Baroness. So what do we have? I don't know too much about her. So heals the ally with the lowest HP by 5% of damage. 50% chance of decreasing attack on all enemies for 2 turns. Okay. Oh, it's a defense-based champion. Places a veil buff on an ally for 3 turns. Okay, this is not a great champion. However, I do not currently have a decrease attack champion. And they bring a small heal. I could see this champion being used in Clan Boss. I'm going to take a look real quick. We're going to Hell Hades and look up the ratings on Infernal Baroness. Yeah, so not a great champion by any stretch. I think I will probably take this champion to 5 stars as food, but also bring them. Nah, I'm kind of thinking. I was like, maybe I'll bring them, but without books on a 4-turn cooldown. Only getting decreased attack for 2 turns. Um, I don't know. Like I'm thinking that because decreased attack is one of the most valuable debuffs on Clan Boss. You want to be able to survive, but I don't think that that's going to be enough. So not quite what I was looking for there. But like I said, we do get food out of it. We do get a few resources during the summon rush from it as well. I'm loving to get that energy and those gems. Oh, and of course the silver. But that's going to be everything that we pull today. I have no reason to pull any other resources. Now, let's talk about why Marked is going to get put away right out the gate. So for Razin, Marked will help me fuse Lich. Lich is a pretty decent champion as well. He brings. I thought he was better. Am I mistaken? There it is. Yeah, he does do turn meter. So he does do turn meter and decrease speed. Um, Also, if I was to ascend Lich, or not ascend, if I was to fuse Lich, I could use him. I could definitely see where I could use him as a turn meter controller. Um, So I would, and because I have to level him to a full 50 and ascend him anyways, it would be a nice little early boost for me. So marked is going to get put into the vault so that I have her, and then once I pull penitent, then we will be able to fuse Lich at least and go from there. We do want to fuse Raz and Scarhide mainly because well, Raz and Scarhide is a great champion. So he decreases turn meter, which is huge. Decreased defense and weaken on the same ability is very strong as well. And then a triple hitter on the A1. So he's valuable in multiple areas of the game. Um, and including clan boss. I don't expect to get him super quickly, but he is a champion that I would be okay getting. But I'm just gonna get him, focus on getting him as I'm slowly accumulating my resources um within the game. And so as I'm keeping champions set aside. I'm not going to feed them, and I'm going to prepare to use them for uh, fusing Razin when the time comes. I'm not going to prioritize it or go out of my way for it. We just want to work our way up to that and then fuse him when we get a chance. It's interesting because he does bring the decreased defense and weaken, which I'm already getting from my Deacon. But um, it wouldn't hurt to have it. And Deacon still brings the speed aura for me as well. I do want to move some gear around. I've been getting a lot of gear from this event. Not this one. Wrong event. From the Deck of Fate. I've been getting a lot of gear from this. And I kind of am considering moving some gear around to make my Kale a little bit stronger, but I really don't know. Kale is actually really well geared at the moment. He's at 108% crit rate. I would love to see more crit damage, but just given the current state of the account, um, that's pretty good for how early on in the game that I am. I wouldn't mind giving up crit rate, a little bit of crit rate in some places. I just don't want to do it at the sacrifice of um I don't want to sacrifice too much crit rate. So I do have to find a balance there. Uh I also need to make sure I keep the lifesteal set on for the time being so that I can actually still solo stuff. Once I lose that lifesteal, I don't do near enough damage to be able to afford losing that lifesteal set. Um So it's still between Deacon and Apothecary as to who I'm going to do next. They're both great for Clan Boss. Apothecary does bring that healing and, you know, would also be much easier to increase the power level of the character. I already have 4 books I could put into him versus 1 epic book. Um, Also cheaper to ascend. All those things need to be considered. Right now, by the way, we also do have the Classic Arena Takedown Tournament going. I mentioned that I was excited for this before. Um, I've already spent a few tokens. I'm ready to spend a whole lot more and hopefully get up into that first place slot. That's probably what I'll be doing today, as well as just grinding up some champions. Um, Gator's about to get 4-starred as a food, and then probably going to. I mean, I'm definitely going to 5-star the Baroness. I just don't think I'm going to use them at all. I'm probably just going to keep them as food, not put any books or anything on them. It's just while they do bring a decreased attack, it's inconsistent, and that heal I think is too small compared to what Apothecary can bring, especially when on a 2-turn cooldown when booked. I mean, you know, Apothecary is going to be keeping people alive very, very easily. So, anyways, that's it for the video today. I wish we had some better pulls, but thank you for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.